All right, good morning, guys. I just woke up with the story of the morning coming off Twitter. Ian Rappaport is saying sources, the 49ers have received several inquiries from several teams looking into a potential trade for quarterback Trey Lance. He says the conversations have been the result of the conversations have been the result of San Francisco fielding the calls, not making the calls, with teams aware that Brock Purdy is likely the future starter. Then he goes on to say, well, no trade is imminent, and the 49ers would almost certainly want to make sure Brock Purdy's rehab continues to go as smoothly as it's been going. The interest from other teams in Lance has been there. All right, well, okay, a couple things. One, he says the trade is not imminent, but we're still a week out until the draft. So what does that mean? Does that mean it's going to happen during the draft? That's what I predicted, that the 49ers are going to trade Trey Lance during the draft, that they're going to commit to Brock Purdy, and that they're going to move Trey on to another spot where he can be the starter. Not because they don't like Trey Lance, just because they view Brock as their starter, their choice, and they view Trey as a starter, and they want him to be able to start. And so I think they're going to move him somewhere where he can start, and that they're going to clear this out for Brock Purdy. I think it's also noteworthy, guys, to just remember that, the same guy who a few weeks ago told us that it's likely that Sam Darnold is going to be the week one starter, and then went on McAfee's show and they didn't want to talk about it, is the same guy who's now saying that there's other teams that want Trey Lance and the 49ers are fielding offers. So, it all, I think you guys are starting to see the pieces all come together on this. It's like the 49ers want to commit to Brock Purdy. They want to go forward with Brock Purdy. They understand Trey Lance needs to play. And for that reason, they've let it be known around the league that Trey's available if the Niners get their price. Now, what's their price? I think their price is probably a late first-round pick or a high second-round pick. And so I expect them to move him, because I expect that he will get at least that much in return. I mean, you ask the question, what's Trey Lance worth? Well, in this draft, I would say he's worth anything from pick 20 all the way to pick 50, in that range. That's what he's worth. Why? Because in my opinion, I'd rather have Trey Lance than Tanner McKee or Jake Haener or any of these quarterbacks that are projected to go in the second round. I think if you asked most NFL people, would you rather have Hendon Hooker or Trey Lance? I think probably the majority would rather have Trey Lance. He's quite a bit younger, really good prospect, smart guy, has a lot of talent, a lot of upside. So, it wouldn't surprise me if teams offered their first round pick for Trey, starting right around 20. Moving on down. Anybody from pick 20 through pick 50 who wants a quarterback probably is going to come knocking for Trey Lance. And I think the 49ers are willing to take that in return. There's a deal to be made there if the Niners want to make the move. And I think this this report from Rappaport is pretty clear that this is the direction they're going. Whether you agree or disagree, I'm not even sure if I agree at this point. Brock Purdy, we don't know his situation. We don't know Sam Darnold's ability to operate this offense, but it's a very deep quarterback draft. And if you ask me, why am I making the prediction that I think Trey is going to be traded? It's because I think the 49ers want to do a couple things. A, commit to Brock. B, get Trey to a place where he can play. And C, replace Trey with a rookie quarterback and have a very defined quarterback room. Do they want a quarterback competition between Trey and Brock, or between Darnold and Trey, and then eventually Trey and Brock? I don't think so. I've never believed that. I believe they've made their evaluation that Brock's the guy, and I think they want to get some more value out of Trey, get something in return, do the right thing by him by moving him to a place where he can play. Trey Lance has played 1 year of football since high school. He needs to go play football. Whether it's in San Francisco or somewhere else, Trey Lance needs to get out on the field and play football. John Lynch knows this. And so they're going to listen to offers because they want to go with Brock. The whole reason to get Darnold is to establish that surplus so that you can make this deal. Now they're met with Dorian Thompson-Robinson 3 times. They've got 3 third-round picks. They've got 2 fifth-round picks. They're positioned. If they want, if they want Max Duggan, if they want DTR, if they want Malik Cunningham, if they want Tanner McKee, if they want Jake Hayner, they're all going to be sitting right there waiting for them. Clayton Tune. There's a lot of good secondary quarterbacks here. So if you said to me, when you made this prediction, Krueg, that Trey Lance was going to be traded, what did you see? I had no sources. I'm just reading the tea leaves. They weren't saying the kinds of things that were going to indicate that he was going to be here. They were saying the kinds of things, if you were objective and thinking about it openly, that they were going to move him. He's got to play, and that's the challenge because we got a team that's ready to go. What did that mean? The implication was obvious that Trey needs development, and we need to win now. So they're going with Brock. They're going to go with Darnold. They're going to go with a rookie as the third quarterback, and they're going to trade Trey Lance. And this isn't the worst thing. You might be able to get a really high pick. When I say a high pick, if you get a pick in the 20s, you might be able to get Michael Mayer from Notre Dame. The other thing that came up the other day, they met with Isaiah Foskey at their pro day. Isaiah Foskey's going to go from 25 to 45. Why are they meeting with Isaiah Foskey, who's going 25 to 45, when they pick 99? Because they expect to have a pick between 25 and 45 or 25 and 50. And where are they getting that pick? I think they're getting it by trading Trey Lance. Other people this week have speculated they may be getting it because they're trading Brandon Ayuk. But my read is that they were going to trade Trey Lance. I think they want to do a couple things. Commit to Brock and get Trey on the field playing and developing somewhere. And then have a clearly defined quarterback room and add a significant piece to your game, to your puzzle. I mean, the kind of player that you could get back for Trey Lance could be a star. I mean, Michael Mayer is projected to go 28. I mean, if you're looking at tight ends in a great tight end draft and you could have had Michael Mayer, you do it. You absolutely do it. Isaiah Foskey, you do it. Adi Tamiwa out of Bahre from Northwestern, you do it. Kalijah Cansey from Pittsburgh. I mean, could you imagine how good the Niner line would be if you had Hargrave and Armstead, Bosa, and Kalijah Cansey? I mean, they'd be stacked. Emmanuel Forbes is a dominating number 1 corner who's had 14 career interceptions and 6 pick sixes. Niners need a number 1 corner. He's projected to go in that 25 to 50 range. So I know there's a lot of people that are upset because they're big Trey Lance fans thinking, oh, God, what the hell? Are they going to trade Trey Lance? It's not the worst thing to trade Trey Lance here. You have Brock, you have Darnold, you have a very good quarterback class. You're going to be able to get a quarterback that you want. I mean, if you said to me, what would you prefer or what do you think is a better way to win this year? I think it's a better way to win going with Brock Purdy, Darnold, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson with one of your 5th-round picks or whatever, than going and then having that elite player that you potentially get back in this trade. I think that's a better team than having Brock and then Trey backing up and then Darnold backing up and not having that extra big-time player. So if you can get a late first-round pick, if you could turn this into Michael Mayer or Isaiah Foskey or somebody like that, man, I mean, how do you look away from that? So got to believe that when Ian Rappaport says the Niners are receiving inquiries, that there's going to be a number of teams calling. Minnesota, Houston, Tennessee, all come to mind. I think the offers may include other quarterbacks. Would not be surprised if Houston offered Davis Mills. Would not be surprised if the Jets situation, if they offered Zach Wilson. I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota tried to work Kirk Cousins into some trade. But I think the Niners are after a late first or an early second-round pick in return. And I think they're likely to get it. If you're the Texans and you go defense at the top of the draft, and you are sitting there with pick 33, I think I would absolutely move pick 33 for Trey Lance and on the Texans. So, very interesting morning for all the people banging on me, going, Krug, how could you possibly say Trey Lance is going to be traded? I just read the tea leaves. No sources, just a prediction. I was asked the other day about it on Grant's show. I made it perfectly clear. I'm staying with my prediction. And here we are, day or two later, and now Rappaport saying that teams are knocking on the door for Trey Lance. Niners are not initiating this. The Niners are listening, but Trey Lance's value is in an area where it's greater than people think, and it's really equal to what the 49ers will take in a trade to make the move. And for that reason, I think he's going to be dealt on draft weekend. Anyway, interesting report. Tune in at 11 a.m. today. Jack Hammer stops by for a 49er live stream, and we're going to talk all about, guess what? This. Have a great day, everybody.